very much. You know, it's so important that everybody participates, and I thank you, because I'm sure you got a lot of other things you could be doing. Taking the time to vote really does make a difference. So thank you for that. And you enjoy your day, okay?
Dear viewer, if you stay home, if you do not vote, then you deserve the country you live in. That's it. If Kamala Harris becomes president, they open the border completely. That's it. There will no longer be swing states.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video. It's election day in America and things are already getting crazy. We have Tim Pool tweeting this out here. Haha, holy shit, Kamala faked a phone call with the supporter. You can clearly see the camera app. This is probably the most viral moment so far of election day. It's only 4:30 Central Time, so things are about to get a whole lot crazier. I'm pretty nervous. At the same time, I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen, and it's pretty, honestly, it makes me feel alive. You know, it's like, yes, I'm nervous. Yes, this could turn out to be really bad for the country and the entire globe if Kamala Harris wins, but at the same time, it's like, it's fun. You know, at least we get to feel alive. It's kind of like watching your favorite sports team, even though it is obviously a serious situation, but there's only so much you can do about it, right? We only have one vote apiece. Well, Republicans only have one vote apiece. Anyway, let's get into this Tim Pool video right here. Haha, holy shit, Kamala Harris faked a phone call with a supporter. You can clearly see the camera app. Let's see this video here.
Give me a second.
You did, thank you.
Oh my God. So this is Kamala Harris asking her voter friend that she's talking to on the phone right here, have you voted already? And then she pauses for 10 seconds and she's like, oh, you did? Thank you. Crowd goes wild. She shows the phone and it's literally the camera app, man. This can't get like, oh, if we have to deal with 4 years of this, I'm going to lose my shit.
Thank you so very much. You know, it's so important that everybody participates, and I thank you, because I'm sure you got a lot of other things you could be doing. Taking the time to vote really does make a difference. So thank you for that. And you enjoy your day, okay?
Just maximum cringe, man. Like it can't get much worse than this. This is the fakest presidential candidate that I have seen in my lifetime, you know, and we have obviously hilarious responses to this. And we also have Tim Pool breaking down some polling and some possible projections for what's going to happen in this 2024 election that we'll get into in 1 second here. Let's first check out some of these replies because they are absolutely hilarious about this Kamala Harris blunder. Looks, it's me. Wow, that was hard to say. Looks, it's me talking to me about voting for me. I did just the test. Dude, can somebody speak English in this shit? Damn, I'm trying to make a video here and none of them can type properly. I did just test it on my phone. It is possible to be on a call with camera open. See, that's the first thought that I had as well. Everybody's freaking out about this. Everybody's saying that Kamala Harris faked this phone call, when in reality, you can open the camera app while you're on a phone call. The problem with that is if she had the camera app open on a phone call, there would be a little green light in the top left that is always there on your phone whenever you're on a call and you minimize the phone call app. So if she actually was on a phone call and the camera app was open, there would be a little green light in the top left up there, and it is not there. It 100% is not there. So that's not the case. We also have everybody else, you know, in wokeness also tweeted out this Kamala Harris clip here. Ha ha ha. Kamala just pretended to call a voter, but then accidentally showed her screen. She was on the camera app, dude. This is probably the worst blunder I have ever seen. Imagine voting for this. XQC says tested this live, debunked. The camera app still functions normally when in call. When you put the phone to your ear, it goes back to black. Just why it didn't. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's my first thought as well, but there would be a little green light in the top left, and there was no green light in the top left there. Holy shit. Kamala caught faking phone call to voters. It's over. Yeah, this is pretty bad, man. This is as bad as it gets. I can't imagine being so cucked that you vote for this. It blows my mind. LMAO, Kamala just pretended like she was talking to a voter on the phone and then exposed herself by showing she was actually on the camera app. More fakery from a campaign of fraud. There's also a lot of things staged. I don't know where exactly the tweets are. I don't have them pulled up, but there was like obvious staged door knocking that Kamala Harris did where she was meeting with the residents of the house. Outside of the house, there's studio lights set up, and then you could hear her. She's hot mic'd saying, "Oh, do you want to do a door knock?" And then they walk inside. She knocks on the door, and then they come out as if they're just seeing Kamala for the first time. Everything is staged. We saw those clips of Kamala Harris. If you splice together her speeches at her rallies, she's saying the same exact thing every single rally in the same exact cadence. And sometimes, depending on what city she goes in, she changes her accent. Sometimes she talks like a black person. Sometimes she talks like a Hispanic person. Sometimes she talks like a white person, depending on the demographic of the audience in that city. Also have Lives with TikTok here. Holy crap, Kamala just pretended to talk to a voter on the phone. You guys get the picture. Now, I do want to get into this Tim Pool clip right here, where he talks about what's going to happen in this election in 2024. It's a pretty crazy day so far. Like I said, by the time I posted this video, we'll probably have some of the first results out. But let's see what Tim Pool has to say about the projections, about the early voting numbers that we have. Let's get into this clip here from Tim Pool.
Biden victory. You can't predict what you can't predict. I don't know what I don't know. In this instance, we are looking at polls, battleground states, and we're looking at early voting data, and all of it says Trump is winning. But we don't know what we don't know. And that is, my friends, we all expected a shadow campaign of some sort, and who knows? Listen to this from CNN.
The math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas, they are down 1.4 million votes in the battleground states. Among women voters, rural voters have overperformed early by 300,000. Democrats have to win their races early. Republicans generally win them on election day. And the margins don't add up right now for the Democrats in any of these battleground states. The math doesn't work.
There you go, my friends. There you go. The news is pouring in. So that's why these posts today are going to be off the normal schedule, because there's too much news breaking. I'm going to keep this one slightly shorter than I normally would, but that's it right there. The Democrats are down in early voting. The argument is that because Trump advocated for early voting, Republicans are not going to be voting in larger numbers on election day like they normally do, giving Democrats the edge. I don't believe it. I believe there will likely be some cannibalization. But this is indicative of a Republican victory. But we don't know. All that matters is this. Dear viewer, if you stay home, if you do not vote, then you deserve the country you live in. That's it. If Kamala Harris becomes president, they open the border completely. That's it. There will no longer be swing states. The Republicans are already struggling to maintain a popular vote average. And these are the people that are fighting for the Constitution, for the fabric of this nation. If the Constitution of this country, and I mean the body politic, is altered so dramatically in the next 4 years, as it has been in the past 4, the next census will mean you will never win an election again. Your children will know no bounty. They will know no great nation and no American dream. And it will be because you stayed home. I know there are a lot of people that refuse to accept it. They'll sit back and they'll say, it's not my fault. I don't like any of this. You know, there are a lot of people that say, I ain't voting for Trump. It's a two-party system. It's all the same. You know, yeah. I felt that way back in, 2004, 2008. I decided, okay, maybe I'll vote. I mean, 2004, I didn't vote. Was I? I was able to vote in 04, wasn't I?
What Tim Pool is saying. What Tim Pool is saying is 100% correct. There's no doubt about it. If we don't go out and vote in this election, if we don't win this election, it could, like Elon Musk said to Joe Rogan, it could be the last election. And what he meant by that is if they open the border, let all these illegals in, and they just flood all these cities, these swing states, there's not going to be a competition. It's not going to be close. They're going to win every single election going forward. And the thought that I have in that is like, what if we do win this next election? What if they win the next one? Like, are we going to have to deal with this threat forever? And, it's a scary thought. I don't want to get caught in the trap of being fear-mongered like the left does with, oh, Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. If he gets in office, he's going to overthrow the government and become the evil dictator of the United States. I don't want to be like that the right-wing version of that. But it does just seem true that they are trying to let as many illegals in as they possibly can. And I don't know, like what it seems like to me is every election from now on is just going to flip-flop because of the day that we live in today, the age that we're currently in, where everybody can get information so quickly. And not only that, but everybody has access to spread said information. And there's no checks and balances on what is correct information and what is incorrect information. And even if you directly challenge someone with evidence, citing studies, citing clips, direct quotes, whatever, if they believe something that their side told them they're supposed to believe in, they're not changing their mind, no matter how wrong they are. So I think that this is going to just be a flip-flop because let's face it, I don't want to say Donald Trump is definitely going to win, but I think he probably will win this next election today. Hopefully by the time I post this video, we've already gotten some good news. But Americans vote based on the information that we have on the internet. And also Americans vote based on how we're feeling our life is going. So like if we feel like I can't afford groceries, gas prices are high, immigration is bad, crime is up, we're probably not very likely to vote for the current candidate. Now, if we have horrible information being spread about all candidates, right or wrong, factual or non-fact, misinformation or not, it doesn't matter. We have all this information and misinformation and horrible things being said about every candidate. Now we're just going to vote on how we actually feel in the moment. How do we feel the country is going? Like I said, grocery prices up, crime up, immigration, all this stuff. Most people are not living lives that they're absolutely going through life blissful, right? They're not waking up every day and saying, man, I sure love life today. Most people are like, damn it, I have to go work this job. And when I come home from this job, I have people trying to break into my cars. I have gas prices through the roof. I have immigration, these homeless people all over the place, whatever. So they're more likely to vote for the other candidate because both candidates seem awful based on the spread of information. What I'm trying to say is in the day and age that we're in right now, what it looks like to me is that these things are just going to keep flip-flopping over and over again. So it's going to be extremely hard to get the Republican candidate to win the next election because most Americans don't live a life that they, like I said, that they absolutely love going to work every day. They love what happens when they come home from work every day. Most people are miserable, to be honest with you. Most people are not that happy. So Trump's going to go through this presidency. They're going to spread a bunch of misinformation about him. They're going to say how horrible he is, how he tried to overthrow the government multiple times, whatever. And then the Democrat's going to win the next election. And are we still going to have to worry about that being the last election? Because if the Democrat wins the next election, they're going to let all these illegals in. Like, at what point do we just say, like, enough is enough and actually do something about it? I understand that what we can do right now is vote for Trump. I understand that. But if the threat's always going to be there, eventually they're going to win another election. We're not going to be able to just sweep every single one. There's a ton of people out there who feel very strongly about this. Like, if we don't win this election right now, we probably were never going to win another one anyway. Even if they don't let the illegals in, because this one is the one that most people, I've never seen anything like this. I go on jogs every day. I talk about it all the time. I jog every day. Never seen this many Trump signs in my entire life. And I live in a red state, so you would expect it. But I don't live in a red city in a red state. I live in a blue city inside of a red state. I don't see a singular Kamala Harris sign. I promise you, I'm not the type of person to lie about this. I'm very much a realist. I'm actually a black pillar, where I don't think there is any saving this country. I don't. And I don't see a singular Kamala Harris sign anywhere. I see Trump signs everywhere, from Asian people, black people, white people, all over. So I don't know, man. I think if we don't win this one, it is definitely over. Tim Pool is correct. But if we're going to have to live with this threat for the rest of the time, at what point do we just say enough is enough and actually do something about it? Let me know in the comments. I know this kind of took a turn. Like, I really started talking some doom and gloom there at the end. But what do you think about this hilarious Kamala Harris moment? Do you think that this was actually her on a call, or do you think she staged it? I have a feeling what most of you are gonna say about it, but let me know in the comments. What do you think about Tim Pool reacting to this epic Kamala Harris fail with this fake phone call? What do you think is going to happen on election day today, and election week really now, with how long it takes him to count votes? Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Tim Pool, Kamala Harris, and election day 2024 situation.